Hello, 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 and welcome back to Mondays with Matt. Yes, you're not seeing me wrong. That is me in a cast. And I'll explain it all. I'll explain it all for you in just a moment. But welcome to the first Mondays with Matt of the 39th year of my life. That's right, y'all. This is birthday edition because my birthday was over the weekend, and it was just an incredible experience, an incredibly diverse spectrum of things occurred and happened. It was expansive. It was adventures. There was danger. There was intrigue. I mean, I can't even tell you all the things. And I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna share with you a little bit about an experience that I had out there that was unequivocally one of the scariest and most humbling experiences of my life that I got to share with my my lovely girlfriend, Miss Becky Jean, and we got to share it together. And I'm going to share with you lessons that I learned. I'm going to be just sharing them dynamically because I feel like they encapsulate so much of the journey of life in ways that we can, emerge from it relatively unscathed. Marion's asking, what happened to my hand? I'll get there, Marion. I'm going to get there in just a second. But welcome to everybody who's joining on. Say hi. Give me a 1. Let me know you're excited to be here for Mondays with Matt. For those of you that do not know, my name is Matt Schaefer. I'm a transformational speaker and coach for women. I coach women around empowerment, connection, and relationship. And I'm absolutely obsessed with the work that I do and the women that I serve, my marvelous, magical magnets, many of whom watch this show each and every week, including Monica Vega, Fosca Francesca, Maddie and Ernest, and pretty much most of you lovely ladies that are watching right now, and I'm sure there's always a couple gentlemen too. Welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here with me on Mondays with Matt. This is my weekly co-creative dialogue that I have with you around personal development, transformation, emotional intelligence, leadership, love, relationship, spirituality, basically whatever is alive for me. I come to you once a week, and we have a co-creative dynamic conversation in real time. This is unscripted. This is a theme. I don't have an outline. I have a sentence. I have a feeling, and I come to you, and we share it together. So please engage with me. Dialogue with me. I've been doing this every Monday since January 2nd of 2017. So I'm almost running out of things to say. I need y'all's help. Well, I joke. I never run out of things to say, but I do want this to be a co-creative dynamic experience. So I am listening, I am watching, and y'all are what make this show so magic. And, I'm really excited, y'all, by the way. Hi, Karen Wanky. Good to see you, my dear. Karen's here. Iriam's here. Karen says, glad you had a happy birthday. I did, Karen. It was an amazing birthday. It was really one for the ages, right? It was out at the Iseti Alien Ranch, which if you've never been out there, it's an experience. It's an incredible experience. It's a place where you can go to basically connect with and see, extraterrestrials up in the sky, flying around. I know that sounds a little wild, but it's real. It's a real place, and it's got a really cool energy. And that was where I went. But the theme of this week's show is based around a really powerful experience that I had at the end of the weekend. And Laura's asking what happened to your arm. All right, so I'm getting there. I'm getting into it right. I'm going to tell you the story right now. Okay, so the theme of this week's show is lessons from the river. And just to give you a hint, the river does have something to do with this. So basically what happened in short, I'll give you the short version of the story, and then I'm just going to sort of I'll tell the lessons as they come to me or as they're going along. But I've spent my weekend, my 39th birthday weekend, at this crazy alien ranch out in southern Washington in Trout Lake, right? And so this is a place where you go, and it's like a rustic sort of communal environment where you experience and connect with aliens that are up in the sky flying around. It's got a great view of Mount Adams, which is a known sort of alien hub of activity. Mount Adams is right out in the distance, and there are lights flickering off and on Mount Adams the entire time at night when you're out there. And Mount Adams is a sheer rock face. There is no human activity happening on that mountain. So that's just one of the many cool things that we saw while we were out at this alien ranch. It was magic. It was really cool, really expansive experience, both for me and for Becky Jean. And then and for Miss Rebecca Boatman and her dad Papa Brent and all the other cool folks that came out there to experience the aliens and also to celebrate me and my birthday. It really meant a lot to me to have so many beautiful souls out there, especially Miss Becky Jean. She did so many things to make it so special for me the whole weekend. It was beautiful, right? So as we were getting ready to leave on the final day, we were like, let's go back to the river. There's a river that runs right by this ranch on the other side of the road, right? So we're like, let's go back down to the river. let's go hang out and like just do a little, relax by the river one more time before we leave town. Okay, so we go down to the river and we're hanging out. We do a little hape, which is like a meditative ceremonial plant medicine, like tobacco, and we're hanging out at the river. And then we're like, why don't we go for a little? Let's go for a little dip. Let's go for a little cold plunge in the in the river. It was something that Becky Jean wanted to do, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go with you, and I think the first lesson that I learned from this, because intuitively, one of the first things it felt really important for me to go with her into the river, to go with her into the river for this experience. And so one of the first lessons I learned from the river is to listen to your intuition and to stay with your partner, right? Stay with your partner. Like if there's the potential for the two of you to have an experience together, or for your partner to go off and do something by themselves and for you to stay back, do it with them. Do it with them. You have no idea how significant that you being in that experience with them could be, right? Like at the very worst, you have a shared experience with your partner, and at the very worst, and at the very best, maybe you're able to, really help your partner in a time of dire need, which is what happened on this trip. So listen to your intuition, right? Listen to your intuition. Listen to what your intuition is telling you, particularly when it comes to staying and being connected to your partner, right? And if your partner is going off and wants to do something alone, if your partner wants to go off and do something on their own, and like there's an opportunity for you to go with them, there's a window for you to go with them, go with them. Own up and do that, because I'll be honest, like I had already dunked myself fully in the river earlier on that little trip, but she wanted to go down again, and she wanted to dunk in the river, and I was like, for a moment I was like, I don't know if I really want to go dunk myself again. And then I was like, well, she's going down there, I'm going to go down there with her. I want us to do this together. And I'm really glad I did. I'm really, really glad that I did. Okay. Oh, Becky Jean, I'm so grateful for you too, sweetheart. Hi, Wendy. Oh, thank you. Oh, and happy birthday, by the way, y'all. Before I continue my story, happy birthday to Carmela Greco. Can we give her some ones? This is a one over here with my gimpy hand. This is also a one. Give Carmela happy birthday friend, birthday neighbor. We're right in the same ballpark on the birthday front. That's so amazing. And thank you, Wendy. Thank you for the birthday wishes. So she goes over to go do a cold plunge. I listen to my intuition. I make a decision to stay with my woman during this experience, right? And so I go over there. She's already in the water. So I get in the water next to her, and it's this little sort of like cove area in the river, and water's flowing, but it's not flowing like super duper fast, right? It's flowing, but just past the edge of the curve of the cove, it's like a whipping, like category 4, like rapid, like it's real fast moving water. There's rocks. It's not super deep. It's pretty shallow. I mean, it's a gnarly river, like right over there. But the cove, the water wasn't flowing that fast, but we didn't think anything of it, right? So we get in the water, and as we're in the water, so I count it down, right? 1, and I count 3, 2, 1, and we both dunk ourselves under the water. And as we dunk ourselves under the water, and this is glacier water, so it's incredibly cold, right? As we dunk ourselves into the water, I sort of have my hand near Becky Jean, so I can sort of feel her, right? And all of a sudden, I feel her start to like just get moved out. I feel her start to get sucked out by the river. And I have like one moment to make a decision, right? And I feel her start to get sucked out, and I just reach out and grab her. And I say, well, if she's getting sucked out, like I'm going to go out with her, and I'm going to, whatever it takes, I'm gonna help her out of the situation, and we're going to get back to shore, So, I mean, another lesson I learned from the river is that, when the opportunity comes, when you have a window and you only have a split second, you have to make a decision. You have to make a move. You can't get paralyzed by fear or anxiety, right? When a window opens for you, a window of opportunity to help a person, a window of opportunity to take advantage of anything, right? To do good for another human being, you got to take that jump. You have to make that decision, right? Because it will not come back the same way again. If I had not noticed, if I hadn't been, and this is the other big thing, if I had not been fully present if I had not been fully present in that moment to feel her and to recognize in that moment that she was getting pulled out into the river, guess what? By the time I would have realized it, it would have been too late. Because let me tell you, once that river got a hold of us, we were hurtling down the river. Because as soon as I grabbed on, and there was no way I would have been able to catch her. Like, and it would have just been a disaster, right? Because then we both would have ended up getting sucked down the river, and it would have been much worse than it was. You know what I'm saying? So be present in the moment, and when an opportunity presents itself, do not think, act. The opportunity to help another person, the opportunity to protect someone. Because if we get in our heads, we don't act. Are you with me? Like Carmela says, I almost drowned as a child, but a stranger pulled me out of the Mediterranean Sea by my hair when I was 5. So grateful for that stranger. And guess what, Carmela? That stranger wasn't thinking, well, I don't know, this isn't my kid. What if I grab her by the hair and her parents are mad? You have to be willing to just to jump and just trust that it's going to work out. So that's what I did. I grabbed onto Becky Jean, and then I felt my legs go out from underneath me, and we both got sucked out into the rapids. Okay? So then we're in the rapids, right? And we're just hurtling down the river. And I am not joking when I say it was the most powerless and the most helpless that I've ever felt, because you have no control. You have, this is probably the lesson I learned at this point, is to have a very firm, it's very important when you're in a dangerous situation to recognize what you have, where you have control and where you do not have control. Because in the beginning, I was trying to like just fight the river, and I was thinking I could just like muscle my way around and try to just pull her to the side. And I just realized very quickly within the first couple of seconds that it was going so fast and so hard that I couldn't do that right then. And so my goal at that point became to just try to wedge myself between her and the bottom, so that, you know, because we were just bouncing off of rocks, bouncing off of the bottom, just getting pinballed down this river. And so I just wanted to put as much of myself between her and the ground and the rocks as I could, because that was what I had control over. That was where I could do the most good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sort of just getting tossed around, and I'm trying to stay between her and stay calm. Yeah, exactly. Recognize where you have control, exercise that control in the most effective way that you can. Let go of an illusion of control over shit you can't control. Like, I couldn't control the river. I couldn't control the way I was getting thrown around. And I stayed calm. And I stayed focused on what my goal and objective was. The goal and objective was to get to the side of the river. And I prepared myself as we're bouncing down the river, you know, and we're both getting smashed up. And at one point, you know, how this happened is I was sort of like around her and underneath her, and we came up over a big like water push, and then we fell down on the other side, and we both landed really hard, you know, and my hands were underneath her, and my hand got pinched, and it got smashed against a rock, you know, and so And in that experience, you know, I fractured. I got a crush fracture on my right pointer finger. Oh, God really was with us. Yeah, exactly, Becky Jean. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. And so as we're hurtling down the river, and I'm prepared myself. I'm like, I was trying to put my back sort of facing the where we were going, because I'm like, if we have to take a rock, I just want to like hit it full on in my back, not my head. You know, not my head, not her head. We just get to, I'll take a rock on the back, maybe I break some ribs, whatever, who cares, you know? But what I was doing the entire time was I was staying calm, and I was trying to just get my feet down, you know? I was just trying to get my feet down, because I knew if I could get my heels down, that I could get us over to the side, okay? And so one of the lessons that I learned from the river, one of the lessons that I want you to learn from the river, is the importance of situational awareness. Being aware of the situation that you're in and staying focused on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Do not to let the environment of the situation that you're in, you know, the turbulence of your environment, right? For me, I was in a rapid. For you, you might be in a chaotic family. You might be in a chaotic business or work environment, right? It's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to get pulled apart. It's so easy to get overwhelmed by all the rushing dynamics of the shit around you in your life. But you know what? Once you do that, if you lose sight of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what it is that you're trying to create, you risk losing it all. And if I had allowed myself to panic and get overwhelmed by all the shit rushing around, I wouldn't have put my feet down. You know, I wouldn't have been able to put my feet down, because eventually, somehow, like, the river slowed down just enough that I was able to, like, catch one of my heels, and I was able to, like, catch my other heel. And at that point, I was able to start taking steps off to the side, you know, with Becky Jean, you know, and I was able to sort of, like, continue to pull us over to the side and manage to get us to the side of the river, right? And so, tuning out the chaos, exactly, Wendy Wolpert. So how good are you, this is a great question, how good are you at tuning out chaos in your life? Because I think we all realize, right, that we live in a chaotic world. There is a lot of chaos happening around us, right? There's a lot of things that we have no control over. There's a lot of things competing for our attention, competing for our bandwidth, right? Trying to pull us this way and that, right? Just like the waters of a river. And things, and you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit by rocks. I got hit hard by some rocks. Becky got hit hard by some rocks, right? But what did we do? We tuned out the chaos, and we stayed focused on the only thing that mattered, right? Which was getting to the side of the fucking river and doing our best to not suffer or sustain a devastating injury. That was the whole deal, right? And Laura says, isn't that the purpose of meditation, to train you to stay calm in stressful situations? Absolutely, Laura. That's the purpose of meditation. And here's the thing. Can we practice that? Can we practice that in chaotic situations? Can you practice moving meditation when the chips are down, right? Because it's easier to meditate and to stay calm and focused when you're sitting in a quiet room, you know, when you're playing music. Oh, Becky Jean, we are so lucky. Oh, she says, I'm her hero. Oh, I love you, sweetie. Yes, Voska says, so good that you thought to get grounded. Well, yeah, it was the only option. It was the only option. And so as I helped push her up onto the shore, right, and I dragged my soggy ass up onto the shore, and my right hand is like just all swollen and twitching, and I was just asking her, like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, you know, evaluating her, because like I was like terrified. I was waiting to see like a bone sticking out of, you know, her somewhere, or a bone sticking out of me, you know, because I mean, this is the sort of thing. I realized it while it was happening, but it wasn't until I pulled us out, you know, of the river, that I fully, truly recognized that it would have been so easy for one of us to die. Like, so easily, it would have been, this is a situation that could have been tragic, so easily. And as I did an inventory of her, and I realized that, you know, she had some scrapes and some bumps and some bruises and stuff, but nothing catastrophic, you know, and I realized that, you know, my hand was fucked up. Like, I realized that, like, immediately, that something was probably broken or something was fractured or whatever, because it was all swollen and it was hard for me to move it, and I realized that there was something gnarly happening. But, like, in the larger scheme of things, there was so much to be grateful for. There is so much to be grateful for, and I just was like, I was overjoyed, and we just like held each other on the side of the river, just overwhelmed with gratitude. And we had it was such an incredible like shift in perspective, right? A shift in perspective. Wow, Karen says, my dad jumped in and saved a kid before she could have gone over a waterfall. Your dad saved her life. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing, Karen. And so I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned from this experience, which, I mean, it truly was a near-death experience, right? Is that, you know, it doesn't take a near-death experience for you to practice gratefulness. Don't let it take a near-death experience. Don't let it take nearly losing everything for you to appreciate what it is that you have. You know, because there have been moments on that trip where, I mean, it's just so easy to get, you know, it's so easy to take things for granted, you know. It's so easy to get sucked into focusing on small things. And this trip, in this experience that we had, this like relatively terrifying experience, it was such an incredible clarifying moment that like that just inspired us to really focus on the fact how blessed we are, and how divinely guided and how divinely protected we were and are. You know what I'm saying? And all of you are divinely guided. All of you are divinely protected. How often do you connect with that? How often do you practice gratitude for that? Or how often do you let little things, little ticky-tacky things, you know, suck away your attention, right? Or have you take things for granted? Because here's the thing, the more you give gratitude to the divine for his protection, for his guidance, for all the blessings that you're getting, the more of that you're going to get flowing into your life. And I firmly believe that, one of the reasons that this experience ended in a not tragic way is because Becky, Jean, and I we're anchored in our faith. Like, we thank God, or we talk to God on a regular basis. We pray before we eat, which is honestly, other than when I was growing up, that's new for me. That's a new practice, and I'm loving that. I'm loving, building a closer relationship with God, through my relationship with her, and we have that as an anchor for us, And I truly feel that, if you're willing to walk in gratitude and mindfulness and faith and devotion to your power, to whatever your power, whatever your higher power is, the universe, God, Allah, whatever term you use to anchor yourself in the divine, that's what you get to walk in. That's what you get to walk in. You get to walk in that. And so after this situation, I felt closer to her. I felt closer to God. I felt closer and a deeper sense of appreciation for all the blessings that, I've received in my life. And even as I realized that, I had hurt my hand pretty significantly, it was just a drop in the bucket. It was just the tiniest, most insignificant thing. It means nothing against the larger backdrop of the fact that at the end of the day, we're okay. And it would have been so easy for us for that to have ended up being a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? So it ended up being one of the most powerful experiences of my life. Yeah, and it did, Laura. It did strengthen our relationship. It strengthened our relationship. It strengthened my faith. It was truly, they talk about near-death experiences bringing you closer to God, and I feel that this was, an experience that, I feel closer to the divine as a result of this, and I feel more connected within myself. So even though this is going to be a frustrating experience for me at the egoic level, like I'm going to be in a cast for whatever, or a sprint for a long time, I'm going to have a hard time typing. The logistics of my daily life are going to be inconvenienced for the next couple months probably, that's just, it is what it is, but like, I get to continue to shift back to and continue, because it's so easy, right, to get pulled out into, taking shit for granted. It's so easy to get pulled out into, oh wow, eating's going to be annoying, right? I'm going to have to do everything with my left hand, right? Oh, this is blah, blah, blah. And then I think to myself, hold on a second. I could have lost my life. I could have lost her life. I could have lost my queen, right? I could have lost, like, my love. And I look at that, and I look at the potential consequences, and I look at, the minorness of what actually happened, And again, I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude. I'm overwhelmed with the feeling of just, like, connection to the beautiful powers that have been guiding and steering my life, And I recognize that one of the deepest lessons I learned from this, and one of the continual things that I'm stepping into from this, is that everything, absolutely everything is happening for you. Absolutely everything is happening for you. And that incident at the river, which I truly feel was a near-death experience. It was the most dangerous experience of my life. Like, it really was. And the most helpless I've ever felt. And it was the opportunity where the largest damage could have happened to me and to the woman that I care about. It could have been anything. But I trusted that it was going to be okay. I stayed focused. I didn't get overwhelmed. I did what I needed to. I recognized what I had control over and what I didn't have control over. And I did the very best I could. And I supported, the woman that I love and the woman that I care about in protecting her. I didn't make it about me. And maybe that's another important lesson that I want to share with you, right? Is that stop making it about yourself. Make it about whoever it is that you're here to serve, whether that be your family, your loved ones, your customers, your clients. I think the only reason I was able to function effectively in that situation was because my overwhelming priority was to protect Becky Jean. My overwhelming priority was to say, I have no problem taking some shots on the back, like taking some hard shots on the back, as long as I can just get her off to the side. And because of that, I stayed locked onto her, and I was able to, keep our bodies in a position to, because if I had just tried to take off for the side and sort of drag her with me without trying to protect her, I could have lost a grip on her, and then she could have gotten sucked down even farther. And I wouldn't have been able to catch her. The river is going too fast. So, stop focusing, focus out. Focus on the people you love. Focus on the people you're here to help. Don't make it about you. Be willing to sacrifice yourself for the people that you serve. And you're going to be better able to serve them, and you're going to be operating in deeper alignment with the divine. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think we're ever closer to the divine than when we're operating selflessly in service of the people that we care about. Whether that be a mother serving their children, whether that be a lover serving his lover, whether it be a teacher serving his students and not getting paid shit. I mean, there's so many different ways that this comes up, but stop making it about you. Be willing to put it all down. Be willing to put it all on the line. If you're not willing to die, or to if you're not willing to lose everything for the things you've committed your life to, then you need to find a bigger why. If you're not willing to put it all on the line to serve the ones you love, to help the ones you love, to protect the ones you love, then guess what? I love you, Mark James. Mark Rosenfeld, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, thank you, Foska. It is powerful. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you, Becky Jean. Appreciate you. Love you. And yeah, are you willing to put it all on the line for the people that you love? Are you willing to selflessly serve whoever it is that you've committed yourself to, personally, professionally, in all areas of your life? Because that's how you're going to be the most effective leader, the most effective public servant, the most effective teacher, the most effective parent, the most effective spouse. Comes from a place of selflessness. It just does. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, those are just some. There's so many more, but I feel like that's a good place to sort of like, because I could just keep going all day on this, right? But this situation, this experience at the river, it taught me a lot. And one of the things it taught me that I'm really going to be focusing on moving forward is that I don't want to wait for life to nearly end, or I don't want to wait for a tragedy to potentially happen in order to be grateful for the unfathomable number of blessings that I have. I want to live in gratitude. I want to live in presence. I want to live in conscious appreciation of my life and my relationship and the beautiful world that's materialized around me and this beautiful community that we have together. I don't want to wait for my life to be over. Is that how it goes? Yeah, cue the Dawson's Creek music, exactly. And yeah, and no matter what experience you have in your life, can you find gratitude for it? Can you find the blessing in it? Can you find a way to recognize that no matter how painful it is, no matter how inconvenient it is, no matter how heartbreaking it is, guess what? It's happening for you. Everything is happening for you. Your only job is to figure out how. How is this happening for me? Why is this happening for me? How is this a blessing? No matter how much my ego is raging against it, no matter how scary and terrifying it makes feel in the moment, right? No matter how challenging it is, no matter how insurmountable it may feel, right? How is this my greatest blessing? How is this, a particular form of divine guidance? Because I truly, fundamentally feel that God put us in that river. God allowed us to be sucked down that river because that was exactly what we needed. And we both recognized that as we got out, as we made it through, that wow, we were so radically shifted energetically and emotionally, after we got out of that experience, that it put us in a completely different, much more beautiful place than we had been before we got sucked down the river, So even when you get sucked down a river, even when something tragic happens, right? Can you emerge on the other side of that and recognize and discover for yourself how it's made you a better person? People are asking, people who have joined later, Okay, just a brief summary of what happened. Some people were like, what are you talking about?" I went for my birthday. I went to an alien ranch up at where you can watch aliens up in the sky up in South Washington, a place called Trout Lake. And my girlfriend and I went down to a nearby river on our way out of town, an isolated river. This is not public. There's not like lots of people in there or anything. To go take a cold plunge, right? And as we went in for a cold plunge, she got sucked out, and I was grabbing for her, and so I got sucked out with her. And we bounced down the river, and I was like just keeping myself as best I could. She still got beat up, right, pretty bad by the bottom, but I did my best to sort of keep myself between her and the bottom until I could finally get us over to the side, you know. And in the process of doing that, my hand got crushed. My right pointer finger got a pressure fracture that I found out about today. So that was the incident, right? And I've been sharing the lessons that I've been learning out of this experience. And you know, it took getting close to death for me to appreciate my life at a deeper level. But now my goal is to continue on that appreciation. And I invite each and every one of you to find that appreciation for the beauty and the blessings of your life without having to almost lose it. Okay, so that's the Matt Challenge for this week, is to apply these lessons that I've been sharing with you, right? Around, you know, staying in a co-creative space with your partner, staying present. Yeah, and please, if you could send healing light and energy and prayers to my girlfriend Becky Jean. She's beat up. She's got all sorts of bruises and bumps and scrapes on her all over, and it's rough. And you know, I mean, I could use a little healing love and light too. So if you want to send that positive juju to us, we'd appreciate it, because yeah, we're a couple of beat up outdoors. We're a beat up outdoors couple right now. We really are. Thank you so much for all the healing vibes, and give me a 1. This is me doing a 1. See, I got the one finger up. I'll do the other hand. I need to learn to use my left hand now. Give me a 1 if you are committed to applying the lessons of the river in your life, to being present, to staying with your partner, to taking the leap when you get the opportunity, right? To recognizing what you can control and what you can't, to staying focused on what it is that you can do, and staying focused on your target objective. Can you tune out the chaos? Can you tune out the noise? Can you move forward as better as you can? Can you serve the people that you have committed yourself to? Can you serve them selflessly? Are you willing to give it all for the people that you love? And are you willing to find gratitude, find the blessing, find the divine guidance, right? In every experience that you have, especially the ones that are the most painful, especially the ones that are the most scary, especially the ones that are the most heartbreaking, right? Especially the ones that are the hardest, especially the ones that challenge you the most. Those are the ones that you are 100%. Those are the biggest blessings that you've got. The ones that challenge you the most, the ones that trigger you the most, the ones that drive you the most fucking crazy. Those are the opportunities for the most growth, the most healing, the most release, the greatest amount of self-awareness. It's all fucking happening for you, and it's all coming from the divine. It's all coming because it's exactly what you need to experience, what you need to go through in the present moment. So rather than facing it with judgment and resistance and anger and whatever else is coming up, right? You can allow that stuff to come up, but can you work through that, and can you find the gratitude? Can you find the love? And can you find appreciation? And can you experience that suffering? Can you experience that pain and that brutality of whatever it is that you're experiencing? And can you look to God and can you say, thank you? Thank you for crushing my hand. I am excited. Thank you for giving me this experience, right? Because God gave us that experience in the river that day. And that experience was a blessing. And this is a blessing too. And now my next job is to figure out why this is a blessing. Can I look to this with curiosity, right? Because Jenny Achetan says, so hard to remember in the moment. It is hard to remember in the moment because our ego and our attachment to whatever it is freaks out, right? It freaks out on us, and we say, well, fuck, I have a launch in a month. How am I supposed to do that? I have all these plans of all these things I want to do. I was going to, go work out all summer and be in the best shape of my life, and I was going to do this, and I was going to do that, blah, 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 and all this stuff. Now, I can't do a lot of it. A lot of the things I wanted to do this summer, I can't do. So I have two choices, right? I can either be attached to my plans that I had, and I can be pissed off about it, right? Or I can say, I can look with curiosity. I can release my judgment and look with curiosity at this and say, interesting, plot twist. Okay, God, well, I guess what I planned wasn't exactly what's supposed to happen, and I am willing to surrender to the divine plan. I am willing to surrender what I wanted to do and instead be like, let's see how I get to grow from this. How am I going to expand from this? How am I going to become an even better version of myself? And how is the reality of what I get to experience with this thing on for the next couple months, what I get to experience with my girlfriend with this thing on for the next couple months? Like, I'm curious. I get to look with excitement and trusting in the divine, right? Trusting in the divine plan, releasing my plan, and looking with curiosity at my obstacles and my challenges rather than judgment. You feel me? Oh, and Karen makes an interesting point. All my working out that I've been doing over the last 6 months strengthened me to help Becky Jean. Yeah, you're right, Karen. I mean, this is the strongest I've ever been, or close to the strongest I've ever been in my life. And it took a lot of physicality to get through that situation. And maybe if I wasn't as strong in my legs or in my arms, maybe I couldn't have been able to keep a hold of her. Maybe I couldn't have been able to stay underneath her. Maybe I couldn't have been able to pull her over to the side. Who knows, right? But I mean, like, I get to find gratitude for that. Maybe these entire last 6 months was preparing me physically for this one experience, for the time when I needed it the most. And also, I'm not giving up on being strong, right? I'm not giving up on my physical fitness. Trust me, I will be wearing this, whatever cast I end up in or split I end up in. I will still be busting my ass in my Peloton. I will still be doing core work. I will still be working out my other arm. I will still be working out my legs. I'm not going to stop working out. I just am going to have to take a breather with this hand for the foreseeable time being. Dana says, I'm thankful so much now for being re-traumatized and having my heart break open so I can speak my truth and have my heart open to love again after so many years of being an avoidant. That's amazing, Dana. I'm so freaking proud of you. And Dana, Dana had a really, I guess, an intense or scary experience with her second vaccine shot that brought her closer to her dad, which is absolutely beautiful. Jenny says, trying to remember to God is asking me to do with the information. What's that about, Jenny? Tell me more. Caitlin Grassi says, plot twist, you've been working so hard to grow your business. God said, kick your feet up and relax. Hey, listen, Caitlin Grassi, if that's the divine plan, I ain't gonna argue. Although I do have a deep calling to create, right? I have a deep calling to create something new in my business, but maybe, maybe what I think I need to be doing right now isn't what I need to be doing. I don't know. Again, I'm looking at all this with curiosity right now. Oh, thank you, Marianne. I appreciate that. Tanya makes a great point. In times of pain, we find a clearer path. Those words are so frickin' true, my dear. Yeah, so at the end of the day, y'all, that was my experience. That was how I entered my 38th year. I entered my 38th year with one of the most epic weekends of my life and one of the most intense, transformative experiences of my life in that river. And I hope that the lessons that I shared with you from that experience resonate with you. I hope that you can apply them into your life to help overcome your obstacles, to help you work through any challenges that you may currently be having, or to make sense of and make peace with maybe some of the hard things that have happened with you in your life. Because if everything is happening for us and everything that you've gone through has helped shape and mold you into the person you are today, then guess what? Every single thing that's happened to you is a blessing, and every single thing that's happening to you moving forward will be as well. So look at your life with curiosity, wonder, love, trust in divinity, and courage and focus, and connect it to your heart, and the world will unfold for you exactly as it's meant to, and you'll expand into exactly who you were born to be. So thank you so much for sharing Mondays with Matt with me. Thank you for helping me ring in my 39th birthday in style. I've been doing this every Monday since what? My 30, my early in my 30, halfway through 35, and here I am, or 34, and here I am at 39, still cranking away. So it's beautiful to share this space with you every week. I love each and every one of you so much, and I will see you next week on Mondays with Matt. Bye, y'all. This is me. This is how I'm gonna be waving from now on for the next. Oh, thank you, Fosca. Yeah, it's been a very happy birthday, and this was the next extension of my birthday party. As far as I'm concerned, I'm celebrating my birthday all the way through till July 1st. Sound good? Okay, y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.